So,
Right.
Mark, today we're going to talk about the Innisfil update.
Yeah. How are we looking?
Crappy.
Well, it's been a slow couple weeks, right? It came out strong as we saw with the Barrie numbers, and then it kind of fizzled a little bit. And I
Yeah.
think too.
I'm going to do a share screen and show you some of the numbers here. There you go. You see them?
Yeah.
So 2024 sales from February 12th to 27th, which is today, is 23. Last year was 34.
Yeah.
That's 32% decrease.
Yeah.
And inventory is 228, and it was at 209 last year.
Okay.
So it's a bit of an increase.
Yeah. Not much, but yep. Well, Innisfil's been like that for, the last several months. And we know why. I'm almost don't want to keep saying why because I'm kind of bored of saying it, but there's just not enough buyers that can qualify at higher price points.
No.
That's the bottom line.
And we've seen statistically throughout our last 6 or 7 months, when the market was slower, Innisfil's been behind more than Barrie.
Yeah. Yeah. And we kind of know why. Uh, it's got those $1 million price points plus, and no one can qualify for them now.
And I'm going to show you some of the listings here. So this is what sold. Now these ones in the 3s and 4s, that's those well, this one's in Sandy Cove Acres.
Right.
There's one on Adams Road, which is the water road, that was listed at $599, sold for $605.
Yeah.
But that's a really small little house, right? That's
Cottage.
not a bad price in Innisfil.
No.
It's on the water road.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Adams. It's okay.
Yeah, Adams is a decent road. But if you see here, same thing. Like, look how many are in the lower.
So how many listings sold between, again, let's exclude the Sandy Cove Acres and the vacant land. We might have, 10 or 11. And then we go right into over $1 million.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, but
There's
the
not a
thing
lot of
is,
product.
yeah, so there's 1.3, 11, 1,045, 1,020, then 960, 1,050, 915, 985.
Let's
So
pull
we
some.
got 8 of them,
Yeah.
around the million, a million and just over.
And for shits and giggles, because we already know the answer, but let's pull up some of the, let's pull up some of the days on market. You can pick them over $1 million.
Okay.
Doesn't matter which one. And then I want to go back and show the viewers
6
how much.
days. This
Okay,
one's saying 6 days.
let's pull up the history because I still don't trust anything 6 days.
I got to move this thing out of the way.
There we go. Ding, 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 ding. So
Since last May,
there you go. So it tells us the
started
whole
at
story.
1.249.
Right.
So it
So,
sold $200,000 less.
right. And they did it in May. So almost coming up, a year in a sense, like 9 months to sell that corner lot, which I don't love. Nice house. No
Yeah, it's got a weird
backyard.
lot there.
It does. But
Brand
that's
new.
that's the struggle that the Innisfil seller today is faced with. A lot of inventory in the higher ranges and a lot of new product like this, or 5 years old at best, some of them, and they're a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
They really are.
So
So
let's look at this one's interesting to me because it's on Chestnut Street, which is an older street, and it was listed at 1,098,000, sold for 1,020,000.
it's been around.
The history is, hold on,
There we go.
since last May
There you go.
at 1,249. So it went down 200,000 again.
there's a lot of product at the 1.2 range. And we've seen many, many sales that over the last 8 months, 9 months in that range that takes almost a year to sell.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice property, but so few can qualify. And those are those properties are only gonna start turning over when we see rates decrease.
I
And it's
know.
some time for them to decrease, not a quarter point. We might need to see 2 points. So the affordability opens up for that product. But right now it's not there. It's just not there. And I
No, and
feel
the thing is, if somebody's selling in Toronto for 1.2 or 1.3 in a townhouse or a semi or something, they're getting a lot more house, but they're trying to get their mortgage down. They're not going to pay the same amount.
but probably not. And that's a big home. So are they downsizers? What? I mean, lifestyle change, maybe, but I don't know.
These are those really, really nice, these ones are those ones that were, I think it was San Diego Homes or something, those big, big bungalows.
Yep.
So for
Yep.
135, I want to see the history in a minute.
Yeah.
Nice houses,
Yeah. Nice layouts. Very nice layouts.
huge ceilings,
Yep.
and look at the coffered ceilings, and
Yep.
like it's got all the bells and whistles, right? Look at this room.
Love the room.
Oh,
Very nice. Very nice. Very, very
yeah,
nice.
that's a nice room, right?
Yeah. It's very nice. Love the kitchen.
Yeah. I want to see the history on this.
Yeah. I bet it's more than 6 days. Yeah, Burr.
It started
Last year.
February of 2023 for 1.488.
There you go. Came out 100 grand. And this is not uncommon. So if you got sellers out there right now that are thinking of listing or have product listed on the board right now, you're gonna have to, if you haven't come down, you're gonna have to come down. You really are. And we've just picked up random listings that we just, that have sold in the last 2 weeks, and we went through them and they're a year, over almost a year.
Look at
And they
this one.
100 grand.
Sold over 60,000 over.
Okay, but let's go back, and I don't get too excited until I see the history, because there's no reason.
There is none.
Well, good for them.
Well, they listed it at 999.
Yeah, big home. It's a big home. Big home, and they got a little over $1 million. That's the right price point for that market right down there.
$1,050,000
Oh,
for this.
but it's a big home, 25 to 3,000 square feet. It's big.
It's big, Mark.
It's big, but you know, I think there's a real disconnect from the prices that are coming out of that market and what the sellers expect. There's a very, very big disconnect in that community,
Yeah, there is.
right? And we've seen it for a year now. And I know the sellers don't like to hear it, but it's the truth. You need to get the price point sharp and what the market is willing to pay, or you're just going to be continued frustrated in that market.
Yeah. Well, and like I'm shocked that like something like this on Kel sold for 898 and it sold for full price, and it was listed for 0 days.
Yeah.
And then the other one was $1,050,000. Like, you think for $150,000 more.
Yeah, that 150 grand more, you need to qualify a lot more for the extra 150K more now. That's the problem.
This is like my old house at Booth,
I
Mark.
was gonna say, I know.
It's exactly the same house.
Don't like it.
I mean, it was okay for me, but
It's you, yeah. Yeah,
like, it wasn't no $1,000,000 house. This is 900,000.
yeah. I think someone overpaid.
They did.
I don't love it at all.
Nope. No, see what I mean though, where you get the disconnect kind of, because you see this
Yeah,
898 is basically 900.
it's 900.
And you're thinking, how am I not worth 1,000,001 at least, you know?
Yeah. But
When
you
you
know,
look at that other house, like, holy shit, they're not comparable.
they're not, but before, what, you go up 100 grand, no big deal. The payment's not gonna go up crazy. That 100 grand today's gone up a lot of money. It's gonna push you up qualifying
Yeah.
massively. Why don't you pull up the, because we're talking a lot about higher price points and the disconnect, etc. Why don't you show the viewers how many listings in Innisfil over 1 million and above? And
Okay, I can do that right now.
and I want to go back and see what the inventory, total inventory in the community. I can tell you it's probably 40%, 50% over 1 million.
There's 228 on the ground right now.
Okay. And that's okay. We just put in the $1 million price range instead of going counting them all.
Oh no, I can just skip down to the last page.
But then you got
So
to count.
the last page, there's 25 per page, right?
Okay.
So that there's 50,
There's
75,
yeah.
75, 85, about 94, 93.
So 47% of the inventory is over 1 million. It only
Yep.
accounts for max. How many sales do we see for in the last 2 weeks in that range?
There was 23 sales total, and I think 7 or 8 were over 1 million.
So pretty small number that are selling. So on a monthly basis, let's be honest, is about 10% of the inventory, and that's been consistent what we've been seeing all year. Right? And
Yeah.
look at the length of days on market to sell some of those properties is astronomical.
Well, that's what I'm trying to see right now. Oh, I sold this one on St. Paul's Road years ago. Now they're trying to sell it for 990. Oh my good golly. Two
Yeah.
plus one bedrooms.
77 days. Good luck on that one.
It's a small house, Mark. I sold it years ago. It's a small house, man.
You're not
Small.
getting 90 for that. So this is the problem. So let's go back to that listing. Sorry, I want to pick on it because it's done so poorly. And I don't give a shit who I'm offending here. But if that was my goddamn house, I would be mortified on looking at those pictures right now that the agent took.
Yeah, they're
That's
terrible.
horrible. Terrible. He took them with the iPhone. Look how small they are. They're not sized properly for this. Terrible lighting. Like it's just not
Well, you see
professional.
marks all over the floor. I don't even know what that's
Terrible.
about.
I don't know. Terribly done. Right? And has no idea what the pricing is. That, then I don't think that's worth any more than 750.
I know. It's on
And,
septic too, eh?
yeah. And we're asking 990.
Most
So,
of that, it
why are we
doesn't have a full basement either, as 1 or 2 rooms.
terrible layout? It's not a nice house. But this is where I don't know why we're seeing a lot of this. Why are we seeing a lot of this? I know why, because I don't think a lot of agents look at the termination. They've been trying to sell that forever. Look at how many properties 94 are over 1 million. It takes you almost, the ones we went through today, 8 months to sell. There's a disconnect between the agent and the pricing, or is it the seller that's the disconnect from what the market is?
Well,
Or is
yeah, I gotta defend agents a little bit, because
it
I know sometimes it's not necessarily the agent, and I've had it myself where I'm
Wow.
telling the client, and you've had it too.
I don't do that anymore, so count me out of that one.
No,
You
but it happens where they want a certain price, they're too high. You
don't take
say,
it.
we're too high. Well, we want to try it.
Why
Okay.
try? This isn't the market to try things, so I can't defend those agents. I won't
Well,
defend.
I'm not defending them, but I'm saying that sometimes, like, and I've had it even with mine, where you get in a situation where they can't take less because
And
of,
don't list it. And don't list it. It's not gonna
yeah.
market for that. I just don't understand why people do that. I'm so against it because it's just not the reality of what the market is. If this is a crazy market back code, yeah, that's the market to go trying things. This isn't a market to go trying things, especially in Innisfil.
No.
We're staking for nice homes and nice properties, 77 days, 120 days, almost a year to sell. Hundreds of thousands. How much time did they lose?
Yeah, I
Could
know.
could you got more money if you would have priced it from the beginning the right way?
Well, that's the other thing. Like they're ending
Missed a
up
lot of
selling for
opportunities.
200,000 below.
Right.
If they would have priced it at 1.2 or 1.1 at the time, what would they like? What would have happened? Who knows? You know?
They could have got out for whatever reason, moved on. Now they're trapped. And now that buyer has a range of everything,
Mhm.
right? To go shopping in that range.
Well, it's not only that; it's appraisals too, right? Like our office has a couple appraisers in there.
Mhm.
And he would, they've shown me once in a while, like, Diane, they just, bought this for 1.2, and I can't find anything even close to that for comparables for sold. It's got to appraise out too if you need a mortgage. Like,
I met a girl yesterday at my friend's business. And she worked for a large building. I don't want to say the building, but they're big. So I asked her, I said, what are you seeing with, with the tightening of interest rates over the last, year and a bit? What's the percentage of properties and contracts not being fulfilled between the builder and the buyer? 10%. Right at the top, have walked away from the deposits. And this is a
yeah.
big bill. That's a big number.
Well, some of them just can't even get financing.
Yeah, that's what it is. Can't get financing. Right? So that's there's some liability, right? And when did they buy them? Well, we know when they bought them in the peak. Hey,
That's the
top
problem.
friggin' dollar. They're not going to praise out for one, right?
Yeah.
And they can't qualify anymore.
Yeah. No, I know that's where you get into the problem is if you got approved, you can only get approved for a new build 3 to 4 months out of the closing. A bank won't approve you a year in advance.
No.
So you could get a pre-approval and oh yeah, this all looks good. And then you get to the closing 3, 4 months away from closing and the interest rates now tripled and now you don't qualify
That's it. That's it.
and you don't have a choice. If
Well,
you don't qualify, you can't close. Like, you don't have a choice.
there's no choices.
Mm-mm.
No. No.
Anyway, I
No.
think that's about it for Innisfil. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we covered it. It's a tough market, and I think it's going to continue to be tough this year. And I really think the disconnect is there, and I really think sellers should be asking a lot more questions to their agent. What going through we just gone through, we just went through random stuff that sold. They need to be doing more of looking at what's going on in the market.
Yeah.
We know what's going on in the market down there. We've been doing videos for 6 months, 7 months down there. And we
Gotta
continue.
remember, though, Mark, a lot of the agents there are Toronto.
I know, but it doesn't matter what market, you've got the same tools.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Tools.
They're on TREB. They're on the Toronto board. They can see it.
See what's going on in the market, what's selling, and give a lesson or tutorial in what's selling in the community and going through and taking the time to show the people, because I'm sure there's some people down there that are just so frustrated with their listings not selling and nothing's being done. So anyway, give a like, give a share, and drop a comment. We'd love to hear from you.
Perfect.
Okay, see you.
See ya.